Okay, and again, similar team, Gary O'Hare has joined us, and Gary's going to share real insight into his personal lived experience. And I know Gary's happy to sit at the top table there rather than the podium. So, Gary, can I pass across to yourself? And you're very welcome again. Thanks for joining us.
So my name is Gary O'Hare. I'm 49 years old and originally from Finglas in Dublin. I'm currently working for an organisation called TIG Lynn, where I'm the COO. And I'm also 16 years in recovery and drug and alcohol free. So I'm just going to share a small part of my story and how I got involved in the criminal justice system. At the age of 16, I started to drink and to smoke cannabis, but it wasn't long before I started to take other drugs like LSD, ecstasy, speed, and sometimes a combination of all of those together. A lot of my friends, unfortunately, were into heroin, so I never seen myself as actually having an addiction issue. But later in my 20s, I think the wheels come off, and I had a habit of a minimum of €500 worth of cocaine a day. I'd lost my job because it's very hard to hold down a job when you've got a habit like that, and I started to turn to crime. My way of feeding my habit was I used to get large amounts of cocaine off drug dealers, and on one occasion I got into debt for over €20,000. And I suppose them guys want their money, and you've got to find ways to get it, you know. That left me in a really bad place. My body started to shut down. I was passing blood when I go to the toilet. I know that's horrible to hear, but I hadn't been eating, and I was gone for days and days and days without food, just drugs. In 2007, I was charged for 2 robberies, and my solicitor told me to expect a prison sentence. When I look back at that time, that was actually the catalyst for me to say, I need to do something here. So I went into residential treatment. I got a loan off a family member, and I cleared out my drug debts. I was actually a year off everything when I come up to be sentenced. And in fairness, the judge was quite fair. They seen I'd done a lot of work on myself, and instead of a 9-year prison sentence, I was given 2 years. What worked for me in prison is I was transferred to the training unit, which was a drug-free unit, and I began to study social studies with the Open University. After serving 11 months, I was actually released with, I think it was a 2 or 3 year probationary period. The prison linked me into a service called Pathways, and through the Pathways project, I began to continue with my education. I got some aftercare housing, which helped to take me out of that environment that I'd been in before prison. And a year later, I completed a diploma in addiction studies. A year after that, a degree. Then after that, a HDIP. And this year, I'll graduate from the Royal College of Surgeons with a level 9 diploma in clinical leadership. So when I think back and I just reflect, a couple of things come to mind. The catalyst for my recovery was that I was facing a prison sentence. What helped me was the supports that I got in prison. But what was really important was the aftercare supports. Because if we come out of prison and there's nothing there for us, we go back into the community and we get mixing with the same people again. And before you know it, you're back in prison or you're dead. I was fortunate enough to find those supports and to use them. Today, as I say, I work for an organisation which actually provides a lot of those supports. They provide a safer place to recover, an opportunity to explore recovery groups, faith-based groups, an opportunity for community employment, aftercare supports and housing, free education up to degree level, and they work closely with the prisons for individuals that are looking to come from prison into a treatment programme. And yeah, it's just a privilege to be able to be working within those services now and to maybe offer people something that I was given, and I'm thankful for that. I just have one thing here. If I would like to, as I reflect back, there's one question I have to ask myself. If I'd not faced a prison sentence, would I ever have had the motivation to change?
Thank you.
And I'm not sure I would.
Thank you.
Thank you.